Best tips to create social media content calendar, podcast. Continuing the series of educational podcasts with a technical niche, Auxano Global Services brings to you another informational podcast conversing about techniques of using trending technology. Here we are explaining various technological advancements, their usability, scalability, and business applicability. To know more about the launched podcasts and keep a regular check-up on the upcoming podcasts, like, subscribe, and follow our channel. Here in this podcast, we will talk about the importance of a social media content calendar and the best tips to strategize an efficient content calendar. A social media content calendar helps you in organizing the publishing schedule by date. You can keep a punctual check of deadlines, and maintain transparency with stakeholders. Through this podcast, you will have a reason and motivation to create a social media content calendar and also the best tips to create an efficient one with all the details according to dates. The social media content calendar is a find to surpass all the chaos of social media handling. Social media management requires expertise and professional knowledge. It requires punctuality as every post and communication should be done on time and the number of messages to be communicated is many. Between this chaos, nothing should be turned off because of a mere lack of time management. Therefore, a social media content calendar facilitates smooth social media management and anchors desirable outcomes. Adding to it, 16 posts a month can generate 3.5 times more traffic compared to less than 4 posts a month. To manage these 16 well-researched posts and content should have some kind of strategy. With time management one can align together several teams, and stats say that when 2 departments work together, they can have 67% more deals. Why does your business needs a social media content calendar? As we discussed, a greater number of posts invite more traffic. But to generate that traffic, the quality and timeliness of the posts also matter. Focusing on quick posts never helps. The solution here is to use an organizing framework of a content calendar. These content calendars serve as the framework for business promotion across all social media channels. A business also uses various channels at once. The content to be posted on these channels should be well planned. The content calendar helps in presenting the content that fits the channel's audience at a perfect time. It helps in realizing the fundamental objective of social media, which is to socialize and engage the users most with punctual and relevant content. Best 9 tips to create social media content calendar. Point 1. Identify your social media goals. The basic step of making a social media content strategy or content calendar is to start by clearly pointing out your campaign goals. There should be a destination to walk towards before starting the journey. Identifying social media goals will help in deciding that destination. The goals are aligned with your business requirements, consumer demands, and market competition. Outline what you want to achieve with this social media marketing campaign. This will clear your focus on social media marketing and will facilitate desirable outcomes. Point 2. Audit your existing content and social profiles. After determining the end goal of content marketing on social media, here is the time to understand what the existing content is. It is important to have connecting and relevant content to the previously published posts. Understanding what type of communication had been done, and its tone will give a skeleton to the new content. Even if you want to change the type of content, you should have a strategy to do it. Sudden changes will make the content alien to the audience and their perception of the company. Hence, understand what the profile has communicated. Point 3. Establish who your audience is. Social media marketing is one of the best options for direct marketing with messages that are completely relevant to the audience. So, before starting, decide who you want to have a look at in your communication. Target audience is important for any type of marketing campaign. Determining a clear group target audience is useful and important. Through research and study, choose which segment will be maximally interested in your communication and plan the social media content calendar accordingly. Point 4. Identify the best social media channels for your brand. As you have now determined the group of the target audience, previously posted content, and the objective of the social media marketing, now you have to decide the channels of communication. The points mentioned above are the pillars on which your further communication will be built. Identifying the social media channels also comes from what is decided in the plan until not. From various channels available for social media marketing, decide which channels are most appropriate for your communication and audience. Not all people visit all social media handles. Precisely decide the general social media handle of your target group or audience. Point 5. Decide what details will go into your calendar. Now it's time to decide what details to bring in the content calendar. The calendar determines what, how, where and when of the communication. Get the details through researching and analyzing the tips mentioned above. Mention the details by leaving no room for confusion. Things should be completely transparent and understandable. Thoroughly explain and mention the details in the calendar. Point 6. Set up a content library for your assets. As we have seen the importance of citing the content and social media profiles, through auditing you will be able to set up a content library of all the assets. Assets here mean pre-published posts and content which was approved and widely recognized by the audience. This content library of your assets will help in determining what type of communication should happen further. It is not advisable to dive into without knowing how you sailed before. Experience, especially collecting posts that helped in generating traffic, increased conversion rate, and engaged audience is the best way to leverage desired outcomes in the future. Point 7. Define and organize a social media posting schedule. Getting further with social media content calendar. Now you have define and organize a social media posting schedule. This schedule will determine the frequency and time of your social media posting. You can use the famous the 1st of April 10 rule, which is a guideline for creating the right balance of content for the audience on social media. This rule defines the time and balance of posting. It says that for every 15 social media updates, there should be 10 pieces of other people's content, 4 should ideally be your own blogs, and 1 should be a landing page. Point 8. Start crafting your posts. After defining the schedule of posts, start with creating your content. Keep in mind all the points of research, analysis, and planning mentioned above for crafting your content and posts. Align all the points together and make sure to utilize the strategically planned social media posting schedule. Also, it is advisable to not be stringent with the schedule and ignore the engines in the environment. Keep an eye on how people's demands are changing and modify the plan accordingly. Point 9. Start publishing. Now here comes the performance time, which will create a large impact on the outcome and will determine the success of all the processes done before. Start publishing according to the planned schedule. If needed, you can sometimes even modify the change and adapt to the contemporary demands. Make sure that content is not to suit the schedule, but the schedule and everything is to be relevant to a content that attracts, engages, and converts the audience. Conclusion: social media calendars are a great way to leverage social media marketing success. As we have talked about, campaign on social media is rigorous, and the quantity and acuity matter a lot. In between all this chaos, perfect timing eases things up for the professionals or marketers. It is important to make sure that the experts don't get burnout by the process of social media marketing and that they can focus equally on every stage. To implement this, a social media content calendar is crucial. Auxano Global Services is one of the best digital marketing company with exceptional solutions for social media content calendar planning. For knowing more about social media marketing and its content calendar, kindly feel free to connect with our professionals. Thank you for listening to our podcast. We are grateful for your time. It is good that we can help you with the social media content calendar. Subscribe and get a notification every time we make a useful podcast with helpful technical solutions. Stay tuned for upcoming podcasts.